If it ain't one thing, it's seemingly another. Oh, my. Ooh, 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 ooh. I got peace, but I got, total peace. Honestly, the peace that surpasses all understanding, and I'm glad and I'm thankful. But just the world we live in, I just said I had to get my behind up. I can come in my room and just speak on something because I get to a point where I'm just damn near wanting to speak a curse over my my kids' paternal relatives, specifically their so-called granddad or whatever. Because I just feel like he's the one that's still alive that, try to pass down certain stuff to my. I'm not saying that he intentionally did it or anything, but just accountability. But it also could be something from their mammy's side. No, I'm not their mammy, I'm their mama. Their mom's side. And yeah. I sent them to bed, and really we got enough room in here where they can sleep in separate rooms, but just don't have all the equipment ooh, and resources that I need and want. So right now they're in the same room, and yeah, because they're not scared to sleep separately or whatever. But it's crazy because I'm the one that got them doing that. But what was I gonna say? My goodness, what was I gonna say? I know it ain't trying to slip my mind. Oh yeah, so my son just had what I consider a little episode, my older son, and just something that just disturbed me, bothered me. It didn't deeply disturb me because I just felt like boys gonna be, that saying, boys will be boys or whatever, but it just seemed like it sparked some concern to me, should I say. And he was just saying something inappropriate, or I deemed as inappropriate, and to his brother and stuff like that. And I was like, don't you got common sense to know you don't need to be saying that? I'm thinking that to myself. I didn't really ask him that, but I did ask him, do you think that's inappropriate? Do you think that's a good way to lead by example for your younger brother? Do you want, do you think he should be out there saying stuff like that or whatever? And he came to his common sense, what I feel is common sense and logic, and understanding that no, I shouldn't be doing that or whatever. So he's getting restricted from certain stuff, and he got disappointed, of course. And he had his little, not a bad episode, but an episode where he just started screaming out and crying and stuff like that. And we, like I tell him and teach him, we all got tear ducts. So if you gotta cry sometimes just to make it through whatever's trying to weigh down on you, you got to. He got disappointed, definitely, because I put him on restriction. Of course, I'm a female trying to raise males, and it seemed all peaches, and it was never peaches and cream, but definitely some peaches. It seemed peaches and some rainbows in the beginning. Like, yeah, I'm a mother of sons, and of course, my daughter was here in the house and stuff, and she was definitely helping with some stuff. But then here come this. But the fact that I got the piece that surpasses all understanding is amazing. It really amazes me. I can believe it because I know him and I know who he is. But sometimes I still be in awe and like, Lord, how can I remain this calm with this right here? Like, why is this even arising in this household? Period. But to God be all the glory. I'm thankful. I meant to just start off even just saying, Lord, please forgive me for whatever, root I may have, or bad seed that I may have planted, or whatever the case may be. And one thing it is God wants me to get my focus on Him. I do understand that. I want to stay back on him, but I try not to never leave God. But I ain't gonna sit here in front like I don't get distracted, especially with Instagram videos and what my eye been on lately. Like, um, yeah. And so I just had that talk with him or whatever. But I still, because I'm tired of praying regarding a man and a husband. Now I'm just really feeling like I'm not gonna wish for nothing, but I had been hoping. At this point, I'm like, oh, I'm just sitting here just hoping. But like I said, going into the new year again, and now it's me and my sons, and last year was me and my sons, and I'm grateful. I'm not, it could be worse. That's all I can say. I'm grateful that, last year I got back home in time enough to just still be here for them. Not really no specific date or whatever, but just almost in the blink of an eye. Definitely less than the blink of an eye for God. It was nothing, but for me it was if I gotta be away from my kids and their early childhood development at all, that's major for me. And me being the consistent parent, what I feel is the consistent parent, not the parent who abandoned any of my kids. Now I did, we had that transition or that change and shift that happened last year and stuff like that, to where my daughter is somewhere else. But yeah. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a whole lot easier. And it's not hard. And I hope and pray it doesn't get hard and difficult on me or whatever, or strenuous. Because I just believe when you are parenting and you are being a steward according to the will of God, then you should have peace. Even in those tough and difficult times, you should still have peace. So I do. And I'm thankful to my I do. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, I wish I was in that moment. I wish I was saying I do to my husband, but I'm good. I'm goody. Like, I'm not saying I don't want no man, but at this point I'm like, I'm gonna pump my brakes regarding a husband. I mean, yeah, just leave it at that. But I just want my sons to carry themselves like respectable and respectful young men. And I know, most parents desire that. Now, some people don't care. They want their kids to be whole thugs and goons out here. I just don't want to speak that over my kids. And I just don't want that for them. But I know the reality of the world we live in is not just your kids, but everybody's affected. And I always tell my kids, it's a sin issue. And of course, if it's relating to like racism and stuff like that, I teach them it's a sin issue. It's not a skin issue, or it's more of a sin issue rather than a skin issue. Because I'm not going to sit here in front and say that racism doesn't come up. But basically, overall, it's a sin issue. It's iniquity. It's, of course, yeah. I heard another YouTuber speak about the sins of the fathers and, and of course, share the scripture and stuff. But I just tried to redirect my son, and when I'm redirecting my kids, I also noticed that I need to redirect myself as well, because I was just sitting there scrolling on something, and I'm honestly anxious and feeling like I want to get back to it. I don't want to say I'm anxious, but I feel a little anxiety, like, oh, I just gotta have it. I just want to get back to it, because that was soothing me and keeping me. But it's not only me, it's my kids here. And so, it gave me a chance to redirect myself too, and just hug my son and just, touch him. I feel like he needed a touch from a female or woman, as far as appropriate. Like, I just gave him a hug. And it's sad that you gotta put that disclaimer or whatever, but people just get off into thinking some crazy stuff. And just, the enemy just, I guess he running rampant. I don't know. I don't really be caring too much, because just flat out just crazy. He's just here to do whatever. Not here in this place, but, operating and here to, and not here. I keep saying here, but operating in this earth realm to do, and in other realms too, but to do complete a certain mission, a task, or whatever. And so it's to be expected at this point, like. But I really wanted to get ratchet, start cursing some of they folks or whatever. And of course, I still pray, hold their dad accountable, and I pray God hold me accountable too as well. Their dad wasn't the only one laid down and I guess I had to open my legs, or however we got these kids here, you know what I'm saying? And some of it, when I say that, I do mean that some of it was not consensual. As far as my kids being here, I don't know, I can't remember, but some sexual acts was not consensual. Some of them were. A lot of them were. Not most of them, a lot of them. But it was times when I was, basically like coerced or manipulated to do something that I wasn't. It was the spirit of it. It was the spirit behind it. It was a rape type of spirit and rape culture type stuff or whatever. But anyway, and yeah, I can talk about it like that, like almost nonchalantly, because I still trust God, and I just still thank God that it wasn't violent rape where I just got beat up, got bloodied up, bruised up, this, that, and the third. All he was trying to do was, violate the the lady parts and stuff. But and yeah, I know I don't condone it, but like I said, I just trust God. I know, I do believe that worse stuff has happened to others, and I'm not trying to compare or contrast myself to others, but sometimes because we live in this world, we tend to do that. But I don't like that happened to me. But I'm not in, like, at this point, in this moment, I'm definitely not feeling a high level of offense either, because I can't sit here in front like it wasn't an act that I didn't enjoy, as far as just what was the consensual part of it, and when it was not in that spirit. But even when it was in that spirit, it was still an act of penis going in a vagina is something that is pleasurable to me. So, and if it's somebody that I'm claiming to love and stuff like that, or I feel like I'm in love with and all this or whatever, I didn't see it as deeply harming and foul. But I do know now that it's deeply harming and foul, and it's, it should be disturbing or whatever. But I'm still growing, maturing, learning, wisening up, and all that good stuff. And I'm trying to definitely, being that it was their dad who did those things, that I don't want that stuff to show up in my house, because spiritually that stuff can still try to pass down to my sons. And, granted, he didn't get caught, quote unquote, caught in it. Now God saw everything, and I always take it to God, and God hold him accountable when I'm aware of what's going on, when I'm conscious of what's going on. But yeah, I don't want, because he didn't get caught doing stuff like that, now that curse or that generational thing can pass down to my sons, and they end up, it end up being very bad for them, because I don't feel like that's fair. So I take the time and I go to God. God, can you let's hold the one accountable that's still living. If their great granddad was still living, hold him accountable, because I've been told that he did that to their so-called great grandma. No, she would be their great grandma. She just said yes. And so yeah, he did that or whatever, I was told. Now I did find her out to be a liar and a deceiver and stuff, so who knows who knows what the truth is. But that man is deceased, so I just figure, okay, some of that stuff died off with him. But he got a son left behind that, is their so-called granddad or whatever, their dad's dad. And he has a type of spirit. I've seen him in that type of spirit. I didn't see him rape anybody, but I did see, like, the manipulative stuff and the intrusive, and trying to get in people's personal space without them inviting you and stuff like that, and just crazy stuff like that. So hold him accountable wherever his location is, and of course their dad, may he wisen up and understand his faults and his errors and stuff like that, and wherever his location is, hold him accountable. Sure enough, without delay, and before we cross over in this new year, continue to hold these males accountable. And when you give it to God, God does it how he sees fit, and he knows the best way to hold people accountable. Because I can think in my mind a lot of ways to hold them accountable. And like I said earlier, I've been there, spoke a curse over y'all life, and you know what I'm saying, which that's not good on my part, because that's witchcraft. That's, you speaking word curses over people and stuff like that, and you wishing harm. And I just recently got a death wish, in an email or whatever. So I'm not hypocrite person. I try not to live my life in hypocrisy. So now, so, I think that arose, and like I said earlier, why is that even rising up in this house? But probably arose just so I can get my focus on God. Because I did go into prayer after it happened, and especially when my son was crying. Like, every time my sons cry, I don't want to hear them crying and stuff like that. I don't want them to be hurt. But I realize crying is a part of living in life. And yeah, they laugh good 95 to 99% of the time and play and playful, but it's the time when we got to get serious. And again, it's because of this fallen world we live in. It's not, what I'm saying, not really their fault or anything like that, or and as long as I'm forgiven, it's not my fault. As long as we're forgiven, their dad included, what I'm saying, it's not their fault. It's the sin ridden world we live in. It's the enemy, of course, trying to deceive and pull people down and all that, whatever. So if we live as victorious, and that's just what I pretty much redirected him to, like, I want you to be victorious. I don't want you to just, what I'm saying. And it is what it is. That's how I raise my sons. I do despise that, and I wish I could reverse, and I feel some type of regret for even allowing it to happen, but I wish I could take back where my older son was shaking my daughter's dad's hand and stuff like that. He extended his hand as a so-called grown man, and reaching out, and you shaking my son's hand, and you know that you don't like their dad, you don't like their mom. So why are you bothering with my son? That means you're trying to go for my innocence too. And what I'm saying, that means you're trying to go for their innocence and their purity, and that's how I took it, and that's how I feel, and I couldn't stand it. And not only did he do that, my so-called, mom, she allowed my son to go with him and all this, whatever. But I still, even that, your dad's held accountable. He, left a certain door open. I take my responsibility. There was something that their dad, once spewed and yelled at me when he was coming here, because he didn't ever try to physically settle down. Now, I think he was trying to settle down in his mind and in emotions and stuff. I think at times, but just couldn't, or whatever. And maybe spiritually or whatever. He said we are close, and of course the longevity thing or whatever. But he said we was close. I heard a noise, so I'm like, what is going on? Ooh, I'm doing entirely too much. But yeah. What was I saying? When he was coming here and stuff like that, I don't know. I just know that I was trying to be involved. I wanted God's best for him. That's what I spoke off my tongue. That's what I believed in my heart. That I was wanting God's best. No, I couldn't make him do it or anything. I just tried to encourage him. And in encouraging him, I was trying to encourage myself. And maybe some might think, oh, you were just trying to hype yourself up and make something be that it wasn't and all that. But no, I know that we had something. It just, to me, it didn't. It was more than a spark. It just, to me, maybe more gas and fuel, to not in a good way, needed to be poured on it. But people kept on trying to put out the fire by interference and him being influenced and stuff like that. But like I said, I'm trying to take my responsibility for my part as well. um you know um um I really don't feel like I'm just as responsible as him. I just feel like I do have a part in it, but I just believe that he could have did better. And like he mentioned one time in one of the emails, he was like, something about us doing something more suitable. And I responded, and pretty much clapped back like, yeah, if you would have did something more suitable years ago, then we would have been good to go. But anyway, so I just try not to dwell on it. I try to still move forward, but just leaving me behind to raise two boys, and that's not how they got here. You had to be here for them to get here, so you know what I'm saying, where you at? But I'm not asking, trust me, I'm not asking where he at right now or at all. And that part of me, I feel selfish because, like, even though you and him didn't work out, he still got kids with you and stuff like that. So you do want to be careful what you say to your sons regarding him, because they don't necessarily have to feel like I feel. They can, but they don't necessarily have to. But what I do want them to know and operate under is wisdom, and to operate in truth. Whatever God reveals to them, of course, He'll give me some of the facts to share with them, but God will give them the Spirit of God will give them the truth if that's what they want. If they want lies and believe lies, of course. Or if they're liars themselves, then they'll be deceived. But I just feel like I be fighting hard and contending, not with all my kids, not just my boys now, but even my daughter when she was here. Like, I wanted her to know the truth about things regarding her dad, regarding the man that their dad, when I was involved with him, and it's just that. So anyway, still these seemingly dark times we living in and all that or whatever. Oh yeah, then I heard Big Trifling, that car finally crunk up after like 3 or 4 days. I don't know, I have to check my camera and see if he pulled back up in the neighborhood or if he just coming out the house or what, but I'm like, oh no, no. Are you serious? It's been peaceful. And, he doesn't physically bother me, but, and sometimes his presence and just, of course, that car is annoying, but the sound of the car, presence and stuff bothers me, and just, ooh, yeah. But, but yep, so, let God prevail. Let the enemy's plans fail regarding my sons, regarding any of my children with my last name, and because they all got my last name. And yeah, trusting God that He don't allow the enemy to overtake us. Let the angels encamp about around. Help me to redirect as much. And I ain't lying. I'm like pining. I'm like, Lord, I don't have no man here. I don't have nothing. This all I got. Can I do this? Can I, and I literally, that's how I live my life, even behind these closed doors. I ain't said I was perfect, but I have been striving for perfection. I'm not really a perfectionist by the definition, but some people see me as that and, try to put me up on a pedestal. And like I said, I've even been told, oh, I want the power you got. And that's so funny to me because I might want a talent that somebody got. I might want a feature that somebody else had, but I don't want nobody's power. I don't want their personality. I don't want, to be them. Now, did I want to become one with, like I said, who I believe was my husband? And I'm saying was at this point, but yeah, but I don't want to be nobody else. I like me. I love me. I'm not always pleased with everything, but so that was just, that hit different when he even said that to me. Then the fact that he's the same person. He told me he trapped me. Now I'm talking about my daughter's dad. He told me he trapped me with our daughter, which now, it somewhat feels like a trap. But he also and not to knock him or nothing like that, but I was with him from like 16 or 17, 16, hold on, 17, 18, 19, 20, from like 16 or something like that, and he never bought me anything or got me nothing or nothing like that. And he was young, so I didn't really expect him to. I knew he didn't have a job or nothing. I knew he didn't really have no money. Like, to be honest, I knew what I was dealing with. But his mom was providing for him, taking care of him, this, that, and the third, whatever was going on. But he never really do nothing for me. But when I got pregnant, he bought me this little perfume bag or whatever. And this was, of course, been with you since I was 16. This is the first time that he literally bought me something when I was 20 or something like that. And like I said, I'm not knocking, I'm just looking back hindsight. And it wasn't even something that I really wanted. It was pretty, it was sparkly, this, that, and the third. It was something, for a female, but and he felt like he was doing something. And like I said, I'm not knocking him, but that was him giving me something, whatever. But it took all of that time to want to do something. But he didn't mind having his hand out at certain times, wanting something from me more than what you was already getting. Of course, we was laying up, whatever, doing the activities that it takes to have a child. But yeah, it wasn't too often. He was trying to be slick with it, but yeah, and I did. I spent money on certain stuff or whatever, and like shoes and some earrings, and I don't know if I bought him something else. I don't know. I probably bought him something to eat before, of course, and then stuff like that. But I just look back like, dang, man. Like, I deprived myself of healthy stuff, and then somebody already went ahead of me and, like, kind of showed me the wrong, or just didn't know how to correct me or anything like that. And I was deprived. I was deprived of on different levels of healthy stuff. Then, of course, not only was it not healthy, it was toxic. It was, so every day be a struggle. And then that's when Mr. Everybody in the struggle came in. Like, I was already struggling on top of another little struggle. And he linked up with somebody else and started saying everybody in the struggle. And I'm like, well, oh my God. So basically, you're trying to pile another type of struggle on me and stuff like that. So now that's why I'm at the place where I asked God for resolve last year, and I'm just like, God, I thank you. I'm walking in that resolve, and that means I see clear enough to say I hold them accountable, because these are some young men in this household that they had to come from a penis and go into this vagina. It's not supposed to be all on the mother. Granted, I don't want my kids removed from me and me not being able to see them and talk to them or whatever, but it's not my full responsibility to take care of them, to be with them. It is I don't want to say full responsibility. It's just not my responsibility alone, I feel like. So anyway, I'm not gonna complain, but we had that episode tonight, and I think he's adjusting. He's just going higher. He's gonna soon be 10. He's gonna get in the little double digits. He's growing up, and he's an awesome young man. I mean, both my sons are, but which to me it's to be expected. Like, who I am, I'm not trying to do my own horn, but I mean, thank God for who I am. I haven't had the best experiences. Now I want my kids to have better experiences than me. I want them to and to be better people than me, of course, according to God's will, not according to the way I think or see fit, but according to the one that created them, that knows how they're supposed to work and operate by design. I don't know all that, so here we are. But anyway, redirecting myself. I'm actually in my room. I don't be in here often because I've been watching TV a whole lot lately, and just trusting God to realign, set things straight. And like I said, this peace I have. I wish I could have this all the time. I wish I could have this peace when them neighbors try to come against me and say certain stuff, or just anything like that. But I still have certain stuff that I just be feeling like I'm scared that I'm gonna end up hurting somebody, because you're trying to come against me in a certain type of way, and I'm not bothering me. Like, I seen a man on the news. He was like, I just want to live out in the country because I don't bother nobody, and I respect everybody, and I expect for them to do the same. And I felt that on a high level, like, sir, I understand. And that he said that because there was a shooting in I guess it was Memphis, and it was near his apartment or whatever. And I don't blame him. Like, that's when people talk about being woke. That's what I'm like, dang. So some people finally, and he's like an older man. I don't know when he awoke to that truth or that feeling, But I'm like, yeah, people starting to wake up to the fact that they want peace instead of chaos and drama and stuff like that. But everybody's not like that. But I'm not gonna be too long winded because honestly, I still want to go back in there and watch some more stuff. I'm not even gonna say that I don't know. I'm not gonna say that I shouldn't be watching it, but I'm not gonna say that I should be. All I'm gonna say, I know the Bible says something about, everything that you can do. That don't mean that you should do. That don't mean just because it's legal for you or lawful, doesn't mean that it's something that you should do. But again, I am encouraged. I can't sit here in front. I'm encouraged and I'm thankful, and I don't want to take it for granted. I'm a smart woman, and I'm thankful for the wisdom from God. But I just feel like, Lord, please give me that extra oomph to. That's my feelings. Because, honey, you ask God for some oomph. You, especially me, don't know how it might show up. Like, yeah, in the form of your son saying some inappropriate stuff. That's what's going to get you stirred to come in here and pray and talk to me and stuff like that. And see, that might not seem like the loving, kind God or anything like that. But that's the God that disciplines and He loves you. And it's my soul that matters. And it's other souls that's connected to my life and stuff that matter, as opposed to me wanting to, oh Lord, I just want to, and honestly I feel like, Lord, I just want you to carry me through this. But really, I can walk with God. I I'm not better than Him, bigger than Him, no, of course, not even by far, honey. It's just not possible. But I can walk with Him. That means, I believe that I'm one that is trusted to do what He tells me to do. And He don't really gotta keep on getting on my behind. He shouldn't have to, for one, and that's how I feel regarding my kids. And He doesn't, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't have to keep on, okay? But He does empower me, so that's one thing. He never leaves me as far as that, never forsakes me. But He has something that He wants me to do, calls me to do daily, and just called me to do overall, where it falls into His plans and His will. So with that said, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. I know the enemy does not want certain stuff to be done or accomplished in my life and in and through me. He doesn't want me to be an effective witness, an effective I don't really say Christian, but I don't know. I continue to say believer. He doesn't want me to be effective according to the will of God. But God wins. Even though I'm feeling somewhat in my body and stuff, I still give God the glory and just laugh in the devil's face. Like, you're a loser. And he really be trying to come up, has tried to come up against me. Not actively right now. But, I ain't even gonna say as far as my son didn't having that tonight. That was something that was disappointing, but I just had so much peace. Like, that's nothing. Like, that's nothing that we can't overcome. That was peace, but my feelings was like, oh Lord, I don't know what in the world. And my thoughts was like, Lord, what is we gonna do? I don't even be talking like that, but what is we gonna do with these young men?